Organisations today are going under constant change. IT changes, mergers, acquisitions, cost downs. The list is endless. I am researching why organisations don't change as expected. This has been called barriers to change or resistance to change since the 1940s. Now when I say resistance, I don't just mean the disgruntled employee. I mean all the barriers to change. I mean the communication, the structure, the processes, all those things that get in the way. Now, when an organisation doesn't change as expected, we note that it goes through more disruptive change. It can close, it can lose money. We find that it can even make people redundant. So these are important issues that affect hundreds, if not thousands of people in this country and throughout the world. Now, with over 50 barriers to change that have been researched in the last 70 years, the question is, which one of these is more important? How do they interrelate? Now, that's not known at this point, and so the change manager chooses a few from experience, picks the best one, treats those and moves on, and sometimes gets it right and sometimes gets it wrong. Now, my research will aim to improve this situation by firstly conducting 25 semi-structured interviews of people who are involved in change. I will then take the significant barriers from that interviews and put that into a survey of 300 executives of Western Sydney. The aim will be to take one barrier against another and see which ones interrelate and which ones coexist. And by doing so, we hope that the change manager will better position their research in the changes in the future and disrupt our lives less. Now, my research so far has shown that 95% of the interviews have at least one barrier to change, some with 7 or 8 barriers to change. So the topic's alive and well in organisations today. My research has also shown that, as we might have expected, communication and the process of change are significant barriers, featuring more than half of my interviews. Less expected and more interesting somewhat is the fact that the leadership, the very people that should be promoting and leading change, don't always do so in the right way, in an open enough way, and become a barrier to the change itself. The change manager, likewise, doesn't always have the skills to implement the change. Finally, the change manager and the participants are often so busy in their normal working lives, they just don't have the time to implement change well. So for these reasons, I'll now take the barriers that are significant from my interviews, put one against another, seeking to understand which ones coexist and which ones interrelate. And this should help our change managers of the future deliver better change.